Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking about what I consider to be the best neighborhoods in Renton, Washington. So if you've been thinking about moving to the Renton area, we're going to get after it right now. Hey there, I'm Jordan Reeder, your Seattle area real estate agent, and every week I drop content about everything that you need to know about moving to or living in the greater Seattle area. Now, you may have just discovered the Renton area as somewhere that you want to consider living. So before I outline the best neighborhoods for you, let me share my screen and give you a quick geographic rundown of Renton before I tell you where I think you should live. All right, so here is Renton, Washington. And Renton is a pretty large area here in the Pacific Northwest. It's actually the fourth largest city in King County and the eighth largest city in Washington. So the population of Renton is about 107,000 people compared to Bellevue at 145,000. It's just behind in total people living there. So for reference, Seattle sits at about 735,000 people. So coming to an easier view of Renton here. So Renton sits just south of Seattle and Bellevue, with its main access points being the 405 highway, which you can actually see here. So if I kind of back out, you'll notice that Seattle is up here to the northwest, and then you have Bellevue up here to the north. And that main access point is going to be that 405 highway, which runs north to south all the way through the Renton area. Now from 405, you also have 167, which is here, which brings you even further south to areas like Kent, Auburn, Sumner, areas like that. And you also have 169, which brings you to the east. Now there are about 6 zip codes in Renton, with real estate prices elevating as you get closer to the water or having views of the water. We'll talk about having those views of the water right here in this area right off Lake Washington Boulevard. Now, as you can tell, it's in a pretty central location. As a matter of fact, probably the most central location that you can find. I talk about Bellevue being a very central location, which is up here to the north, but this gives you access to a lot of the southern regions, as well as access to Seattle and Bellevue from a very central part. The southern point of Lake Washington is accessible by Jean Coulon Beach, which is right here. And that is a super nice beach park with a boat launch as well. One other thing to note is that in certain areas of Renton, you're going to find larger lots, and some neighborhoods will be great if you're looking for a little more privacy. Now, I will discuss those areas as we go through the video, but you're going to find most of those here to the east. So why Renton? There are 2 main reasons why Renton has and will continue to be a great location to live in. Number 1, it's a central location. So as you just saw from the map, it's just outside Seattle and Bellevue. And most people want to be in and around Seattle and Bellevue. Maybe that's because of work or family or just general amenities, but Renton is just south of Seattle, and with traffic, you're about 20 minutes to Seattle and maybe 12 to 15 to Bellevue. So the accessibility to major highways and thoroughfares is great here in the Renton area. So the second reason why people like to live here is it's less expensive. So over the last few years, prices have gone up quite a bit, but there's still tons of opportunities to live in this area in that sub-$1 million price point. Now, hearing that might sound a little crazy, but the Seattle area in general is getting more and more difficult to find affordable housing. Median home prices in Renton, Washington is about $690,000. Head to Seattle, you're looking at just a tick under $800,000 at $790,000, and Bellevue will set you back $1.35 million. Now that you're a little bit more familiar with the layout of Renton and why people look to live here, let me just tell you the top neighborhoods or areas that you should check out if you are looking to live in the Renton area. The first neighborhood is called East Renton Highlands. Now, I'd probably call this more of a large area than a neighborhood, because within East Renton Highlands, you're going to find many different neighborhoods, right? A few notables in that area are going to be Maplewood Heights, Maple Hills, Coalfield Crossing, Briarwood, and there's many, many others. Now, these neighborhoods will range from brand new construction houses to houses that were built in the 60s and anywhere in between. Now, a big draw to the East Renton Highlands neighborhood is access to the Issaquah School District. So both Renton School District and Issaquah School District service this entire area. However, you are able to find pockets and neighborhoods that just serve one or the other. Issaquah School District is one of the most sought after school districts in the state, which is one of the reasons why East Renton Highlands is so popular. Here you can find real estate at a less expensive cost while still being in one of the best school districts around. When looking for real estate here, be sure to check out and verify which school district each house is in, as it will affect price, and quite dramatically in some cases. So another thing to keep in mind is that most areas in East Renton Highlands are going to be car dependent. These aren't the types of neighborhoods where you can walk to the grocery store, but that's not always such a bad bad thing, right? In return, you typically get larger lots and a much more neighborhood feel than some of the more urban areas around Seattle. The median price points for these 4 zip codes serving the East Renton Highlands range from about $684,000 to $840,000 depending on the zip code and the neighborhood. Again, this is a pretty attractive entry point if you are looking to move here to the greater Seattle area. All right, so the second neighborhood we're gonna go over is the Cascade Fairwood region. Now again, we're talking about a pretty large area here, so rather than calling this a neighborhood, I would call this a region that shares the same zip code as Renton. Specifically in that Fairwood Cascade region, you're gonna find about 40 different neighborhoods to choose from, and most of them are gonna sit atop a plateau or a very large hill, which can provide views of the valley depending on where you live. A few notable neighborhoods would be Fairwood Greens by the golf course, Forest Glen South, Candlewood Ridge, and Elliott Farms. The Fairwood Golf and Country Club is a big draw for this area. It's a large 18-hole golf course. It's located in the Fairwood Greens neighborhood. And the country club includes a heated Olympic-sized pool, gym, and other amenities that are very popular amongst its members. Around here, you're also gonna have some parks and trail systems which make for nice outdoor activities in the area. As you can tell, this is just a very nice area to live in, all with great access to other parts of the region. Again, the median sale price in this area sits at about $684,000. All right, now the third neighborhood is Renton Highlands. This is not to be confused with East Renton Highlands. This area is actually located just west of the East Renton Highlands. This area is going to be a little bit more walkable than the other 2 neighborhoods, but a car is still a necessity here. Now you're going to find quite a few nice single-family neighborhoods in this area. Here you're going to probably feel closer to many of the amenities that Renton has to offer. You pass through this area on your way to the other 2 neighborhoods that we discussed earlier, so you'll be closer to amenities and the main highways. The median price point here is about $775,000. However, the zip code is shared with Newcastle to the north, which that area has much higher price points, so don't let that be a deterrent. Now, one quick thing to note is the proximity to a popular area in Renton called The Landing. So The Landing is a 68,000 square foot residential and commercial development, and it has tons of restaurants and amenities to choose from. So you can park in one of the many parking lots here and walk around. You can go see a movie, go to a restaurant, and right nearby there's actually a new Topgolf being built, which is going to offer another fun activity to do. All right, so next comes Kennydale, and this is the 4th neighborhood to consider in Renton. This is where you'll find waterfront property, you're going to find views, and some of the most expensive real estate. So it lies along that southeastern shore of Lake Washington, and it straddles 405, and the part of the neighborhood on the lake, or the west side of 405, is referred to as Lower Kennydale, and on the east side is Upper Kennydale. So Lower Kennydale, it can offer 180-degree over water views of I-90, skyscrapers in downtown Bellevue and Mercer Island, and the Rainier Beach neighborhood of South Seattle to the east. So Kennydale, specifically Lower Kennydale, is home to the Seattle Seahawks. They have a team headquarters and training facility in the Kennydale neighborhood. It's called Virginia Mason Athletic Center, or VMAC, which is pretty cool to see. If you are looking for views, then this is the place for you. Most of this area will be served by that Renton School District, but that doesn't really seem to be a downside because you can find some pretty awesome real estate in these neighborhoods. I recently did a walkthrough of a new construction house here in the Lower Kennydale area. Check out that video and I will link it up right here. All right, and my final neighborhood is downtown Renton. Now, naturally, you will not find as many homes available downtown, but there are some. I mention this as a top area because I think it's important to know the downtown corridor if you're looking to move to the area. If you look toward the future of downtown Renton, you're gonna find that the city's goal is to create a pedestrian-oriented area that contains a lively mix of residential, office, retail, and entertainment opportunities within walking distance of each other. That's straight from the City of Renton website. I've already noticed this become a reality with more construction and more amenities in the works. This entire downtown area by the Transit Center has been redeveloped with live workspaces being built. You have new vibrant shops and new restaurants popping up that weren't there as little as 3 years ago. You can definitely tell that the city is investing money in its downtown corridor. I mentioned this earlier, but Coulon Beach Park is close, which is definitely worth checking out as well. Now, in and around downtown Renton may not be for everyone, especially if you're looking for that neighborhood feel, but this is an area that you should step in to take a look at, get familiar with it, because you will almost certainly spend time in that downtown area if you choose to live in some of the neighborhoods that I covered in this video. Oh, and by the way, the median price point is $550,000, so again, very affordable in relation to what you can find if you were to head further north. So there you have it, the top areas to live in Renton, Washington. I hope you found this video video helpful if you are looking to move to the greater Seattle area anytime soon. I'm gonna put my contact information right here, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My goal is to bring you great real estate content each and every week and to be your resource for all things real estate here in Seattle. So if you need me, give me a call, shoot me a text, or email me anytime. And with that, now that you've learned some of the top neighborhoods in Renton, be sure to watch this video next, where I'm going to outline the top neighborhoods in a popular area just north of Renton called Bellevue, Washington. And again, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.